A samurai general wins 99 battles. History carves his name in stone. A ninja fails 99 missions. History never knows they existed. But that 100th mission, that single success hidden inside a century of invisible failures, that changes dynasties. This is the 1% doctrine, the most terrifying mathematical advantage in the history of warfare. Defenders must succeed every time, every guard alert, every lock secure, every day, every year, forever. Attackers need perfection exactly once. One sleeping guard, one rusted lock, one moment of human weakness. Today we dissect the cold mathematics that made ninja unstoppable. Not through magic, through probability. We explore how they used advanced psychological profiling to find the single crack in an impregnable mind. How they weaponized time itself, turning decades into weapons. How they executed strikes so perfect, victims died believing in accidents. Welcome to asymmetric warfare in its purest form, where the enemy doesn't defeat an army. They simply wait for the defender to blink. Picture a regional lord in 1573. Stone walls 30 meters high, 500 elite guards, triple moats carved like scars in earth. To stay alive, his security must achieve mathematical perfection. Every door locked, every window sealed, every shadow checked, every single day. The math is brutal. He must win 10,000 consecutive defensive actions. The ninja targeting him? He doesn't need to defeat 500 guards. He doesn't need to breach triple moats. He just needs one guard to fall asleep at 3 a.m. on a freezing Tuesday in November. He only needs to win once. This is the terror of infinite attempts. The attacker controls timing. The attacker dictates terms. Bansenshukai treats this not as cowardice, but as supreme tactical efficiency. Why strike iron when you can wait for rust? If operative approaches wall and guards are alert, he doesn't fight. He vanishes. Returns next week, next month, next year. The samurai burns gold, maintaining maximum security. The ninja spends nothing but patience. But here's the deeper mathematics. Failed attempts aren't failures. They're reconnaissance. Operative tests north gate, gets detected, escapes. Standard analysis, mission failed, threat neutralized. Ninja analysis, mission succeeded. Now we know which guard reacts fastest, which dog barks loudest, which escape route works. Every failure generates intelligence. Every detection reveals defensive patterns. Every near miss maps the system. By attempt number 12, Ninja knows more about castle security than the castle commander. Because commander sees defenses as designed, Ninja sees them as tested. Designed security is theory. Tested security is reality. And tested security always has gaps design never anticipated. The third dimension, temporal exhaustion. Conventional siege depletes both sides. Ninja operations exhaust only defenders. Apply pressure for 6 months, not enough to trigger military response, just enough to prevent sleep. Guards can't maintain maximum alertness indefinitely. Human biology has limits. When reserves are depleted and mistakes multiply, execute actual mission. Ninja isn't fighting alert defenders. Ninjas fighting exhausted humans making errors. This is mathematical warfare. Superior patience defeating superior strength every time. But patience without intelligence is just waiting. Master operatives needed systematic method to find exactly where pressure should be applied.
Stone walls don't take bribes. Iron locks don't hold grudges. Moats don't fear death. The weakest point of any fortress is the biology walking inside it. Shoninki's Kanjin no Jutsu, reading people, was behavioral psychology centuries before psychology existed. Not mystical intuition. Systematic observation of human predictability under stress. Shoninki describes principles that scholars interpret as 3 psychological types, not to teach manipulation, to map the mathematical certainty of human collapse. Tanshin, the gain-focused mind. Decisions consistently trace back to material calculation. Historical records document Tanshin commanders who abandoned impregnable positions when supply lines were threatened. Not from cowardice, from cold cost-benefit analysis that made retreat feel rational. Ninja understood this wasn't weakness to exploit, it was clockwork to predict. Kyoshin, the fear-focused mind. Decisions orbit around threat avoidance and security. Chronicles describe Kyoshin lords who dismantled their own alliances during uncertain periods, executed loyal generals on vague suspicions, turned strength into paranoia. To ninja observers, this wasn't chaos, it was mathematical progression. Fear plus ambiguity always equals self-destruction. Yushin, the honor-focused mind. Pride and reputation as primary drivers. Sengoku period is littered with brilliant Yushin commanders who made catastrophic strategic decisions, not from stupidity, from psychological architecture that made retreat feel worse than annihilation. Ninja didn't need to defeat these men, just needed to understand that pride is a straight line. Pointed in the wrong direction, and it destroys itself. What made Kanjin terrifying wasn't the categories, it was the operational implication. Same external pressure produces completely different responses depending on psychological type. Siege announcement. Tanshin calculates odds and prepares escape routes. Kyoshin hoards resources and suspects everyone. Yushin sharpens sword and composes death poem. Ninja watching this castle doesn't see 3 samurai, sees 3 different countdown timers to inevitable breakdown. But Natori Masazumi, the author of Shoninki, went deeper. Secondary classifications within each type. Tanshin variants. Immediate gain preference versus long-term security preference versus status-based reward preference. Reading these variants required extended observation of private behavior. How Lord negotiates when he thinks no one important is watching. How he treats servants during stress. Public behavior is performance. Private behavior is mathematical data. Tsunenogata operatives, those invisible, ordinary people, existed to catalog these unguarded moments. The daimyo assumes he's alone in his private garden. He is not. Every private hesitation, every unconscious gesture feeds the psychological profile. After months of silent observation, Ninja Handler holds behavioral blueprint more accurate than the target's own self-knowledge. Because the samurai sees who he wishes to be, the ninja sees who he actually is under pressure.
But individual profiling was just foundation. True terror came from network analysis. Castle isn't single personality. It's ecosystem of different psychological types in specific relationships. Historical accounts describe what happens when incompatible types are forced to cooperate under stress. Yushin Lord demands honorable charge. Kyoshin Quartermaster hoards supplies for siege. Tanshin Advisor calculates surrender terms. Under normal conditions, these tensions balance. Under targeted pressure, they amplify each other's weaknesses exponentially. Ninja didn't create these fractures. They simply calculated when environmental stress would make them visible. Chronicles document domains that seemed stable, suddenly fragmenting under crisis. Commanders making inexplicable decisions. Alliances dissolving without obvious cause. Modern historians attribute these collapses to political pressure or military circumstance. Shoninki suggests different explanation. Someone understood the psychological architecture and knew exactly when it would fail. This is Kanjin as terror engine, not controlling human nature, predicting it with such devastating accuracy that enemies defeat themselves on schedule. The cold genius. It required no weapons, no infiltration, no risk. Just observation, classification, mathematical certainty about human weakness. But psychological profiling means nothing without tools that could operate at distances no sword could reach. Tools that looked, to everyone else, like ordinary pieces of everyday life.
Samurai threat assessment was visual. Scan for weapons. Identify armed individuals. React accordingly. Ninja rendered this useless by hiding weapons inside objects visual scanning never flagged. Not concealment. Transformation. Mundane reality converting to lethal capability in single motion. Start with Fukiya. Bamboo blowpipe. Every musician had bamboo tubes. Nobody looked twice. But Bansenshukai's specifications describe precision instrument, calibrated bore diameter, specific bamboo density, darts with aerodynamic stability, effective range 10 to 15 meters. Beyond that, accuracy and penetration dropped sharply, but at close range it was virtually undetectable. Sound profile, sharp exhale, indistinguishable from normal breath. Target feels insect bite. Brushes dart away without examination. Death arrives hours later, long after operative vanished. No witness connects cause to effect. Physician finds no obvious trauma. Lord dies of sudden illness. That gap between action and consequence is the weapon's power. Not the dart, the deniability. Metsubushi, eye destroyers. Weapons designed for one purpose. 3 seconds of blindness. 3 seconds is enough. That's all Ninja ever needed. Advanced formulations caused temporary blindness. Basic versions created intense irritation. 3 seconds of blindness is fatal disadvantage against trained opponent. But Metsubushi wasn't combat tool. It was escape enabler. Operative detected during infiltration. Guards converge. Packet thrown into pursuing group. 3 seconds chaos. Operative through doorway into void spaces. Guards recover sight. Corridor empty. Target already in ceiling. But most devastating tools operated at distance, through infrastructure itself. Okajutsu, fire techniques, not dramatic castle burning. Surgical economic destruction. Warehouse burns. Rice stores destroyed. Campaign canceled. Investigation finds accidental fire, negligent guard, no deliberate action. Military campaign threatening ninja's employer never happens. Not through battle, through breakfast that burned. Tenmon Jutsu, extended precision to weather itself. Systematic observation of natural indicators. Cloud formations indicating rainfall within hours. Wind shifts preceding storms. Animal behavior before temperature drops. Knowledge transformed timing from guesswork to calculation. Rain masks sound, muddies tracks, forces guards under cover, reduces visibility to zero. Operative moves through downpour while defenders huddle cursing weather. They're fighting rain. He's using it. The perfect weapon isn't the one that kills fastest. It's the one that kills so slowly, death looks like destiny. If this mathematical breakdown of ninja warfare is revealing how they turned probability into terror, like and subscribe. And if you want deeper study of real historical texts behind these techniques, check the ninja books in our description and comments. Worth every page. What if target is truly impregnable? Perfect security. No psychological flaws. Unshakable loyalty network. Ninja changes the battlefield. Stop fighting space. Start fighting time. Enter the ultimate sleeper agent. Deep cover operative planted years in advance. The supreme expression of weaponized patience. Historical analysis reveals a pattern in suspicious deaths. The killer was already inside before anyone knew there was a threat. Ninja doctrines describe embedding agents so deep in enemy territory that they become indistinguishable from local population. Young carpenter arrives in rival province, seeks work, quiet, respectful, excellent craftsmanship on castle's outer walls. 5 years pass, marries local woman, has children, promoted to inner keep maintenance. 10 years pass, warlord greets him by name. Guards don't look twice when he walks past with tool chest. 15 years pass. He's background, fixture, completely trusted. Then coded message arrives hidden in merchant's ledger. That night, carpenter fixing loose floorboard near Lord's tea room. Doesn't draw a weapon, simply coats the favorite tea bowl. Next morning, works as usual. 3 days later, warlord falls ill. Week later, dead. Carpenter mourns with rest of castle. Stays 5 more years. Dies of old age, surrounded by grandchildren. No one ever knew. This is 1% doctrine at absolute peak. Ninja Clan invested 15 years of man's life for single 3-second action. For samurai, this is psychological nightmare. How does he defend against enemy whose patience outlasts his career? They look at loyal servants. Man who cooks rice, woman who nurses children, guard at their door for decade. Family? Or weapons on 20-year timer waiting for signal. A lord can build walls 30 meters high, cannot build walls against time. But weaponized time had deeper dimension, not just waiting for access, waiting for the perfect context where death looks like destiny. Assassin in hurry forces situation, kicks down door, draws sword, leaves bloody mess. Ninja with infinite time forces nothing, observes until environment provides the weapon. Watch target 3 days, learn guard rotations. Watch him 3 years? Learn unconscious habits, careless moments, fatal patterns. The operative learns he always leans on specific railing when admiring autumn moon. Learns he inspects armory alone during seasonal inventory. Learns he dismisses bodyguards for private prayers at dawn. Time transforms heavily guarded warlord into creature of predictable, exploitable routine. The psychological terror. Routines feel safe. Routine is comfort. Routine is survival pattern. To ninja, a target's routine is mathematical countdown. They don't disrupt pattern. They let it continue exactly as expected, -1 microscopic safety variable. Ninja turn routine against itself. The armor he inspects alone becomes imperceptibly heavier. The prayer he performs at dawn occurs in subtly altered light. Every observed habit becomes potential weapon. When target dies, it doesn't look like attack. Looks like tragic intersection of bad luck and daily life. This is ultimate payoff of extreme patience. Years of planning means strike shouldn't look like murder at all. Should look like universe decided target's time was up. One cannot audit time. Cannot audit the 1,000 small observations that build perfect moment. Cannot defend against weapon that wears fate's face. Which brings us to Ninja's most elegant engine, the doctrine separating amateur killers from history's greatest shadow operatives. The operative doesn't defeat an enemy by killing him, but by making his death look like an accident everyone accepts without question. Conventional warfare measures victory in body counts. Kill the leader, win the battle. Ninja doctrine understood a colder truth. Dead lord creates vengeful successor. Broken lord destroys his own domain. This is architecture of intimidation, proving target is completely vulnerable without harming them. Why risk messy violence when you can demonstrate absolute control? Method 1. The impossible presence. Target sleeps in innermost chamber, triple locks, elite guards outside. Morning comes. He finds single cherry blossom on his pillow, fresh, still damp with dew. Investigation reveals nothing. No broken locks, no sleeping guards, no entry points. Message is deafening. He lives only because someone allows it. Lord realizes his absolute best security means nothing against this enemy. Method 2. The relocated treasure. Target's prized heirloom sword, locked in heavily guarded armory. Next morning, sword sits perfectly displayed in his private garden. Untouched, unharmed, no theft, just demonstration of complete access to anything he values. Psychological impact. If they can move his most protected possession, they control his entire world. Method 3. The altered reality. Operative enters private study, moves inkwell 2 inches, turns scroll upside down, swaps teacup positions. Lord enters. Something feels wrong. He notices subtle changes. Servants swear they touched nothing. Either they're lying or phantom walks through walls. Paranoid mind cannot process this. Trust evaporates. Reality fractures. Method 4. The information demonstration. Lord sends 3 secret messengers to different allies at midnight. Dawn breaks. All 3 sealed messages pinned to main gate. Unopened, unread, simply returned. Realization. Domain is surrounded by invisible net. Every communication monitored. Cannot fight enemy who controls borders of reality itself. But intimidation was just first phase. Real devastation came from cascade effects. After these demonstrations, target destroys himself, doubles guard shifts, exhausts own men, executes loyal retainers from blind suspicion, refuses to leave castle, paralyzes domain politics, economy stagnates, allies lose confidence, rivals sense weakness, internal factions emerge. What began as psychological pressure becomes systemic collapse. Domain fragments, not from external attack, but from leaders' breakdown under absolute vulnerability. This creates perfect strategic victory. No blood spilled, no obvious enemy to retaliate against. Historical records show only, Lord became increasingly erratic. Domain fell to internal strife. Final layer, narrative cement. After collapse, surviving retainers need explanation. Humans hate unsolved puzzles. Market whispers provide answers. Always seemed unstable. Pressure of leadership. Tragic but understandable. Each remark small, harmless alone. Combined, they harden into accepted truth. Official histories record mental breakdown, poor judgment, internal conflicts. All neat, all logical, all missing the invisible hand that guided every step. Perfect operation leaves no enemy to pursue, just natural-looking institutional failure. But even flawless intimidation campaigns have one vulnerability: the operative who executed them. Unless that person vanishes so completely they cease to have existed at all. Every intelligence service in history faces same problem. Operatives are human. Humans leave traces. Ninja doctrine solved this through concept that has no parallel in conventional warfare. Not just escape, complete erasure of existence itself. Physical disappearance came first. Operative completes mission, doesn't flee dramatically, joins response crowd, becomes one of hundred shocked faces discovering tragedy. Expresses appropriate emotion, helps search for attacker, provides useless but plausible witness testimony. Days later, leaves normally, no sudden departure, no suspicious timing, just person moving on after traumatic event, as anyone would. But deeper technique, identity dissolution. Merchant Tanaka, who visited castle for 3 months, doesn't vanish mysteriously. He dies. Carefully constructed death record. Grieving family confirming passing. Grave marker in distant province. Investigation traces suspicious merchant. Trail ends at tombstone. Cannot interrogate dead man. Cannot follow ghost. Bansenshukai describes maintaining multiple prepared identities simultaneously, each with partial paper trail, each with plausible backstory. Burn one identity, step into another, like changing coat. Most disturbing layer, operatives who ceased to have been, not just leaving, systematically removing evidence of presence. Every interaction managed to leave no memorable trace, no distinctive behavior, no strong opinions, no remarkable features. Witnesses, when questioned, genuinely cannot describe person clearly. There was someone, I think, medium height, came twice or 3 times. Memory requires distinctive input to form strong record. Sunni Nogata operatives gave memory nothing to grip. They didn't hide from witnesses. They ensured witnesses had nothing worth remembering. When investigator asks, "Who was here?" answer isn't "nobody." It's "nobody worth mentioning." That distinction is everything. Nobody raises suspicion. Nobody worth mentioning closes investigation. Historical record reflects this perfectly. Chronicles document suspicious deaths, powerful lords dying at convenient moments, alliances collapsing under mysterious circumstances. Historians note patterns, note timing, note who benefited. But names, faces, methods vanished completely. Not because evidence was destroyed, because evidence was never created. Operatives moved through history like water through sand, left no impression, no outline, no shadow. Just outcomes that changed dynasties, while perpetrators dissolved back into population. Not just winning once and then ceasing to have existed as enemy at all. Because enemy you cannot identify cannot be stopped next time, cannot be warned against, cannot be prepared for, cannot be retaliated upon. They don't just escape justice, they escape the category of person who was there. Next target has no description, no name, no face, no warning. Just another lord going about his day, completely unaware that somewhere, patience is counting down to 1. Popular culture portrays ninja as bloodthirsty killers, demons wearing human skin, psychopaths who murdered for pleasure. The Bansenshukai reveals something far more chilling. They operated under strict philosophical constraints, not from weakness, but as operational doctrine. The philosophy running through Bansenshukai can be summarized as, these arts exist to preserve domains, not destroy them. Using shadow techniques for personal gain or unnecessary violence is the path of common bandits. This wasn't moral philosophy, it was mathematical precision. Every unnecessary operation risked network exposure. Every excess action destroyed cover identities that took years to build. Restraint wasn't mercy, it was optimization. But here's why this doctrine made them exponentially more terrifying. Malice is predictable. Hatred causes mistakes. Rage leaves evidence. A killer driven by anger can be baited, mocked, defeated through emotion. Ninja felt no hatred toward their targets, no personal vendetta, no emotional attachment. To them, the target wasn't a hated enemy. The target was a mathematical obstacle, a variable in an equation requiring adjustment. This is the ethics of the surgeon's scalpel. The surgeon doesn't hate the infected limb, simply removes it to preserve the body. They didn't burn castles to watch them burn. They eliminated specific supply lines, so campaigns collapsed with minimum total casualties. Maximum strategic efficiency, Minimum unnecessary destruction. One cannot bribe a mathematical formula, cannot negotiate with surgical necessity, cannot beg for mercy from something operating on pure logic. When the final operation was executed, it contained no emotion whatsoever, just cold, necessary physics. Historical records show many ninja campaigns never happened, not from failure, but from calculated restraint. Would the target's death create more problems than solutions? Campaign canceled. Different pressure applied instead. Would clan warfare destabilize the entire region? Intelligence gathered, leverage applied, peace negotiated through invisible channels. The most terrifying ninja campaigns were the ones that never happened. Threats neutralized through precise application of minimum force. Because shadow operatives who knew when not to strike were infinitely more dangerous than those who struck randomly. Random violence is chaos. Calculated restraint is control. And control means they were still out there, still watching, still calculating, still choosing moment by moment whether the target lived or died based entirely on strategic mathematics. The target's survival wasn't mercy. It was simply the current optimal solution to their equation. But equations can change. Variables can shift. Solutions require updating. The most unsettling truth is this. Somewhere in history's shadows, patient mathematicians were still running calculations, still deciding who lived, who died, who never knew they had been evaluated. And their decision had nothing to do with whether they liked the target or not. Strip away legends, Hollywood myths, anime fantasies. What remains is architecture of warfare, more disturbing than fiction. Operatives who understood reality as constructed. Human psychology is predictable. Patience defeats strength every time. They build doctrine around single mathematical truth. Defender must be right always. Attacker needs to be right once. 7 engines of asymmetric terror. Infinite attempts. Psychological profiling. Weaponized mundane reality. Perfect timing. Manufactured accidents. Complete erasure. Cold necessity. Each devastating alone. Together, they created warfare conventional thinking had no answer for. Samurai built world on strength, honor, visible power, noble principles, predictable principles. Ninja built world on asymmetry, patience, invisible mathematics. Principles that couldn't be fought because they couldn't be seen. When those worlds collided, nobility lost, not because it was inferior, because it was readable. Bansenshukai and Shoninki don't teach magic. They teach that superior understanding of human weakness combined with infinite patience doesn't need magic. History proves it. Dynasties fell. Alliances collapsed. Powerful men died at moments of suspicious convenience, and the people responsible dissolved into population, into history, into nothing. Which engine disturbs you most? The infinite patience, the psychological blueprints, the perfect erasure, or the cold realization that deadliest enemies feel no hatred toward their targets at all? If this mathematical breakdown of shadow warfare changed how you see history's hidden currents, Like, subscribe, and share with someone who thinks ninja were just acrobats in black pajamas. Until next time, remember, most dangerous number in warfare isn't size of army. It's the one. Single success hidden inside 100 invisible failures. And somewhere in history you think you understand, that one already happened. You just can't find evidence, because there isn't any. That was always the point.